So we're back. Part 2. That's what it is. If you didn't watch part 1, that was last Friday. So we're just going to go ahead and continue into our conversation from then. Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
That's
hilarious.
He's been arrested.
Tell him why they mad.
For what? Human trafficking, rape, money laundering, basically organized crime.
Organized crime, that's what it was.
So, I mean, now first of all, y'all know me. KJ does her research, or she brings anything hot and heavy to you. Especially something like this that could be so filled with opinions, right? I have to get facts first to be able to speak knowledgeably on it. So, just going back a little bit, Andrew Tate, he used to be a kickboxer. Most people, he's a American British. What most people don't know, he was born in America, if you don't know.
I knew he was biracial. Yes. I didn't know he was born in America.
Yes, he's biracial. Right. His father's ex-military, things like that.
That makes sense.
They had some issues, so his mom ended up taking him and his brother and sister over to the UK, and that's how he became British when he was like early teenage. By like 13, they say he was like the man of the house.
Got you.
So, give you just a little background on how he is, how he started growing up even before his teenage years.
Now, read back the charges for me. Yeah, okay. Read back the charges for me.
Human trafficking. Rape. Organized crime. And money laundering. Mm-hmm. They're trying to get him hit with all those different charges. Or
the background that you just gave me, this is childhood alone. I'm not saying it excuses it, but it matches up exactly what he's getting charged for.
I agree. Because at first, when I first heard about Andrew Tate, he just was a misogynistic male that every female was like, hate him. Some men hated him. Some men agreed with him.
That's what I thought it was.
Some men didn't agree with him and didn't like him. So it was like, I was like, who really is this guy?
But he was always talking. When I first started listening to the guy, he was always like half in it. Like, I understood most of it, but I didn't agree with a lot of it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he had some good points about especially men. But when it came down to his viewpoints on women, it just became a little extra. But like you say, on his background, he had to grow up thinking like that. Since 13, he didn't feel like he had no choice. He was the man of the house.
He was the man of the house. So he had to go provide.
He had to get through all of that. See what I'm saying? He had to look at it. He had to look at them as a minor.
Yep. Although he had another brother, I believe he was the oldest. And then he had a sister, right? So then you having a sister on top of that. You got your mom, like you are the oldest boy. So
that's crazy.
And that's kind of how he got into the kickboxing and the fighting and things like that. Won a couple, championship titles. From my understanding, he was really good. Really good.
I heard about that.
I'm not into it or watching, and I don't know the statistics behind it. But from reading about it, that's what I gather.
So what do he give money in? Military or some shit?
Well, I mean, he does say that he made some money in the kickboxing, and then from my understanding of how his evolution went, he then started selling his ideology about relationships and how men should act towards women, things like that, and like a university classroom.
A self-help book?
Yeah, like a classroom setting where he would sell it to men and men would buy it and take like this, it was like a university is what they called it. It was like classes. Yeah, they were buying it, yes. That's how they say that he had his seed money to start getting into everything else and getting all the cars and the luxury and being now the millionaire that he is. He became a millionaire at 27.
Okay. Now, as I said earlier in this part, that I agree with some of his viewpoints, especially the ones about men. But I'm not going to sit up there and go buy a book of his.
I mean, I will say this. I agree with you. I do agree with some of his viewpoints. I'm not going to say about men. I'm going to say about gender roles in specific and things that he touched on relationship-wise to a point. I see and get what he was going with on some things. I would say his wording was probably wrong. I think he was a little too direct or too assertive maybe, because I don't want to use the word aggressive.
Interesting.
But maybe too assertive to get his viewpoint across. But all in all, he does have some ways that seem a little twisted, right? And it seem a little outside of the norm And maybe that's where I feel the aggression's coming from, because maybe he does feel some type of way about that upbringing. He's had to be like this since he was 13, 14, 15 years old.
And now he's in a position of money.
Yes, and now his money is
has
grown.
a lot of control.
Yes.
And he was always a motherfucker that had to take control. So now he's asserting himself.
And now he's in control.
He's in control.
So, and let me say this. People want to say, or he wants to say, he's a billionaire. The last people knew he was worth $100 million. So let's be honest. He's not quite at that billionaire status yet, I don't believe.
I don't give a fuck.
However, he has enough money to give him the power and the status
you said
to
rape,
have control.
You said rape. Human trafficking.
Yes.
And organized crime.
Yes.
Fuck that, man.
And really,
so you come from a fucked up background and you know what it had to be because you had to fuck around and make that choice. You know what I'm saying, for you and other people. And then you take that choice out of other people's hands, like you would assert your dominance over them, like you don't have the decency to let them make their decision. You know what I'm saying? Like
I agree. First, let's say this. All of this is alleged right now. He, again, is still in jail. They still have not officially, I don't think, charged him with anything. He has not been to trial. He has not been convicted. Say he's not the first man to go through this. If he is being truthful, saying he didn't do anything, because at the end of the day, not victim shaming, just calling it what it is, and it's a reality. When it comes to charges and crimes like this, it is usually man against a woman, he against she. Right. And you might have witnesses, you might have evidence that can help corroborate one side or the other. But that's what the baseline of it is. It's her against him. Him against him, her against her, however you want to say it. It's the victim against the assailant. And the problem with that is, because of, I think, his background, and I do believe he has been damaged in some type of way towards women, not saying his mother, but later on in his life, he went on Big Brother, and that's where I think the aggression in women started showing out. He was taken off that show 7 days after because he was a video post of him beating a woman. The girl later came out and said that everything was consensual, but and I get it. People got quirky sex, tricks, right? You might want to get whipped with a belt in the bedroom. Cool, okay? Have your preference. I'm not mad at it.
Specky when I'm done.
But the question is, how did it? Who made? Because someone thought it was wrong. That's why they posted. Because that was the whole headline. What he's doing is beating her.
Now, wait, how long ago you say that was?
That was, I believe, 2016 is when that happened.
Okay. Are they just now bringing that up now, though?
Well, I mean, since he's not even just recently, just since he's been in the headlines. That's why he's been a misogynist. That's why they've labeled him that. Because before he started really being a social media phenomenon on TikTok and everything, YouTube, like we know him now, Twitter, whatever, he was going around and he was showing aggressive behavior towards women. He was making certain comments. He had several videos come out of him demeaning women, violently being aggressive toward, and that word is correct in this place. He was violently being aggressive towards women in several videos. Even before his whole university, and he started popping out and selling men boys, because they say even as young as 13-year-old boys was buying this material from him. He was allowing 13-year-old boys. There were school administrators, teachers saying that they were concerned because they were realizing their students were reading this mess. And it was changing how they were viewpointing and how they were thinking and treating women. So this is where I'm not saying everyone don't have their opinion, right? But when you get such a power and status, you have to be mindful of what you say and the things that you divulge out, aka Kanye. We talked about him in our last episode.
Yeah.
So when you go out and you just, it doesn't
get you fucked up. Yeah.
And let's be real, ain't nobody knew it. And I mean, you knew him if you was in boxing or whatever. But to be honest, I didn't know about Andrew Tate until he became this whole misogynistic male picture.
Right.
So we all knew Kanye. We've been knew Kanye for 20 years. So that goes to show you, first of all, how much money you have, how much status you have. You start saying the wrong stuff and piss off the wrong people.
He's gonna notice you.
In this case, he was pissing off the women, right?
See? Target on your back.
Then they gonna take your money.
That's it.
And at this point, with all his charges and all his allegations, there were women that have come out and said that he kidnapped them, held them against his will. There were a couple women that said that he courted them, telling them, the women.
Did you say
that
courted?
Yeah.
Did they say courted?
No, yeah, like that's basically what he said. That he basically approached them in a manner of trying to court them, trying to be in a relationship with them, possibly marriage, flew them overseas to the UK, and then from what the women said, it wasn't like that. They held them against their will. They was forced to do sexual acts on camera for money, and that's where the whole money laundering goes and human trafficking. For money? Well, no, because the women, you gotta think. First of all,
if I force you, why am I paying you?
First of all, if you force a woman to do anything sexual, that's not cool.
No,
money or not. Okay?
I'm not disputing that.
So at all. If a woman wants to do it,
you and then I paid you, I don't understand how that works.
No, he didn't. No, he wasn't paying them. He was forcing them to do the sexual act, and he was going online and selling it. They weren't getting paid off of that. They were his sex slaves. Okay, all right. Let's call it what that was. They were his sex slaves.
Gotcha.
He was making them do all these explicit acts on camera and then was going and selling it. And they probably didn't even know it at the beginning. Damn. They probably didn't know it until after the fact, right?
I'm like...
And then realized he'd been making money off of them.
So they came back and said something? Nah, he had a cut. Yeah. They was cool with it. I heard he got a pornography business, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they was getting the money at some point, so that means it's not forced.
Or certain women were. Because let's be real, if you want to be smart about it, you're not gonna fuck over everybody, right? What you're gonna do is fuck over a couple people or the weak people you think you can fuck over, and then those real people, the real probably porn stars that he was paying, you paid them so you keep your name good, right, in that whole industry. But let's be real, it's not like you're not gonna fuck somebody over.
That is some art of war shit.
And he had money, he had power, he had status in order to do that. And that's where it's not all about the money. Money helped him get status, right, and the power. But ultimately, this man is in jail, and we're still talking about him. Let's be honest. When he gets out,
I guess you got a point there.
I'm not 6ix9ine snitched, and people still talked about him afterwards. Like, not saying he don't have a celebrity now, because he really don't. I mean, I don't hear about him. He pops up every once in a while.
I want to say, but I think he's in a movie or some shit.
I don't know, maybe. From what I hear, I think he was overseas or something. But you know what? I never checked for... Yeah, I didn't check for him before. I'm not checking for him now.
Start now.
But just saying, all in all, no matter who you are. Like, and, I'm going to be honest. Again, I'm not saying... If he was making money off of illegitimate means, that's a no-no. Period. I don't even care if it, human trafficking, whatever. Right. If it's illegal, that's a no-no.
And then rape charges and shit, man, come on.
That's it.
Come on. You ain't going to last long in jail. For how many bucks?
But like I said, not saying it didn't happen before. Women have lied. Women, tell lies, buff up stories, placate situations. So, again, not victim shaming, just being real and being honest. In the matter. We don't know. Again.
At the point, we don't know.
We wasn't in the room to know if it was forced, if it was coerced. We don't know. Maybe he did give her a check. And now she's still mad because she thinks she should have got more of a check, right? So I'm not saying that females don't. Yeah, I'm not saying females don't do slimy things either. So that's where we're going to have to see if a trial happens. We're going to have to see what evidence comes out. I did see the police confiscated some things. Word. So, we'll have to see what comes out of it. It's going to be interesting. Man, he's denying all of it, so we'll see.
I hope he be all right. We'll see. That's a long walk.
It is. It's a long walk. Go ahead and pull one real quick. Just one time for the one time, and then we'll be done.
For the okie dokie. Would you rather work for someone or own your own business? Oh, definitely own my own business.
So you'd rather own your own business. Okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
I hate working for people.
Bobby.
I hate working for people, man. That shit sucks. Even my business, and in my business, I don't even plan on working. I want to be like automated and shit. Like, it's just gonna just make money while I'm sleeping and shit. Like, I don't plan on getting up and going to work and making the money.
Is that the best type of money?
Oh,
once you can sleep and make money. But it takes time to get there. It takes hard work. It takes dedication. It takes consistency. It takes structure. It takes sacrifice. It takes money.
Can you say sacrifice?
It's sacrifice twice. It takes a lot to even get to that point where you can make money in your sleep. And that's what I don't think what most people understand. Like even the more basic business, if you're starting it from scratch, it's going to take work. And you can do it. If you have your own business right now, just know you can do it. You can keep going.
If you build it, they will come.
That's right. Keep going. Don't let it. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have days where you don't want to, but keep going. Because I'm telling you, it is so worthwhile. It really is. Okay. I'm gonna do one for the one time.
One more time.
This is our part 2. And
time.
again, if you didn't check out part 1, you should. Because part 1 was awesome. We talked about a lot. And this is just a continuation into that conversation. So you might not even understand some stuff if you don't go listen to part 1.
But we like a trilogy of shits, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That is.
You can like start us from wherever in the conversation. You're gonna always get whatever the real
and
is
pick it right up.
of the topic, man.
Period.
Like you know what I'm saying? You're gonna want to know the history.
It's only real over
You ain't
here.
even got to go nowhere, man. We got
Nowhere.
everything for you.
Nowhere, because we do our research, so you ain't got to go nowhere.
And got fact checks for
Period.
you, son.
Fact checks.
Got fact checks for
Period.
you, son.
Okay, so I'm going to do a Would You Rather.
Would you rather?
All right. Would you rather dance or sing? That's funny. I'd rather dance, though.
You rather
Is
dance?
it's so liberating. It's so free. It's so fun. Okay. Put on music and just let go.
I ain't touching none of that.
I got you. But that's how you can. Like, you in your house, you feel put on some music and just let go. It can be really freeing.
She just said you need to relax, relate, release.
Just like Whitley did on Different World. Relax, relate, release. That's right. Jasmine, God, I love you.
Would you rather have dinner with President Obama or get 10 business tips from Jay-Z? 10 business tips from Jay-Z or have dinner with the president.
Yeah. Or I guess you could say former president, whatever, but he will always be President Obama to me. So, period.
Man, I don't feel like Jay-Z gonna say shit. You don't give a fuck about me. What are you gonna tell me?
I mean, I guess to a point, you can go and listen to Jay-Z's music and he can give you a lot of tips, right?
I guess you.
Like, to a point or put you up on game.
I see why you say that though. Yeah, especially some of his new shit. I suppose. I don't listen to him no more. Like,
I feel you. So you're gonna have dinner with the president? That's what you're picking?
Yes, yeah. If I got to pick one,
that's what you're gonna do.
Okay,
So you gonna sit with President Obama? Ooh, let me know when that happens. President Obama.
Bro.
OG Bobby said he'll have dinner with you.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, man, go ahead.
I agree with you. I would definitely have dinner with President Obama. I think, not saying anything about, or against Jay-Z, love him, things like that, would sit and would love to talk to him about business stuff. Not saying I wouldn't. But if I had to pick one, I think President Obama would just be so much more fulfilling in so many more ways than even just on the business tip. Just culturally, just the fact that he's a former president. I'm shaking hands. I'm talking and having dinner with the former president.
And so that's why I said it, because when I read the question, my first thought was, this is like a text message, like a bulletproof 10 things that you said I should do, versus sitting down with the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my head, this wasn't equating. Like, so I'm like, I don't know. Like, I guess if you think it was sitting down with me at the, like, and talking and shit, like, business tips, I guess that would make more sense than Obama. But
I was saying,
I'm not about to get 10 text messages from Jay-Z. Like, here's what you do.
like, 10 tips. Like, he has a document. It could be, each tip has one page.
I wouldn't believe it was him. Like,
really?
Look at these spam ass niggas.
So even if he like Jay-Z delivers it to you, like, here, OG Bobby, I am Jay-Z. I am giving you 10 top business tips that help me be successful. Okay. So for a fact it's Jay-Z, and for a fact he is giving you his.
I do that. Yeah, he got to send it certified.
See, that's what I'm saying. He's telling you, like,
that.
it ain't no scam stuff. It ain't no funny. It's Jay-Z.
And probably Obama gonna be eating like undercooked chicken and shit. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. He hip, okay, and
right.
don't.
Okay, but you said as a president, so
don't
I'm like,
let Michelle Obama fool you either.
She be getting that shit straight out of Popeyes. She put that shit on the platter.
Now, look, Popeyes is delicious, okay. So if they want me to come over for dinner and eat Popeyes with the Obamas, I would do that, okay. I like the chicken strips.
Fuck Jay-Z.
With the fries, okay? You can get them that sweet tea too, but you can hold the biscuits. I'm just saying, like, I ain't mad. I will do it.
Popeyes and change the whole mindset of the room. Like, yo,
I'm just saying, I think that would be so much more fulfilling. But I got you. That was a good question, though. That was a good question. Thank you.
Love coming to see you,
OG Bobby. I'm sorry.
OG Bobby.
OG Bobby. We had a good conversation.
Yeah, man.
It was good.
Always.
Very fun and comical at this point. We talked about some heavy stuff, but it was good.
Kept it light.
Kept it light as much as we could. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for enjoying both these parts. If you watched both of them, I hope you did.
Thank you very much.
Me and OG Bobby, we were here in the building. We had great conversation. Again, if you don't remember, subscribe. There's a button right down there, you guys. Hit it. Make sure you hit the notifications to get reminded every time I drop. You're listening to this on any platform that is streaming. Like it, share it, you guys. Let people know what you're listening to. This thing called podcast. Share it with your friends. It's cool to share. It's fine to share. But thank you guys for joining us. Again, every Friday, we're here bringing you another episode. I am KJ, and I will see you next week. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week.
I know you feel like they ain't really with you. I know you feel like they ain't really with you. Got you feeling they ain't really with you. Yeah, you feel like they ain't really